There we go. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting us to come and speak. I'm here to talk about Ducklake and, of course, how to wear the ducks. When you work for Mother Duck, you'll love the duck. So Ducklake is a very different approach to a lake. What is Ducklake? It's an open table lakehouse format optimized for simplicity, speed, scalability by storing both catalog and metadata in a SQL database. Very simple to install, 3 commands, no head banging, really great, and you're up and running. The people at DuckDB, because this was designed by the people at DuckDB, are very, very interested and dedicated to simplicity. They look at every project and they think it can't be this hard. And so they try to make things as intuitive and easy to use as possible. And this is a perfect example. I highly recommend, if any of you are truly interested in using Ducklake, that there was a podcast with Hannes, who is the chief developer at DuckDB and our own CEO, where they introduced Ducklake and they talked about aesthetics. And that's what you're getting here. So Ducklake is the future of open table formats, partitioned for scalability. Got a petabyte? No problem. Give me a few of them. High data ingestion speed, bring your own blob, low latency queries. It's got everything you're looking for in a typical lakehouse. This is my favorite slide of all because this kind of sums it up. So I don't know how many of you have worked with products such as Hadoop, HDFS. Yeah, I'm seeing some nodding heads. Do you remember how painful that was? Yes. So when I first saw Iceberg come out, I went, really? Are we going down that road again? You know, parsing JSON is not a pleasant experience. And having your meta file in JSON, I'm like, please don't do this to me again. But that's what they did, and that's fine. It's being heavily adopted. That's fine. I mean, I think everybody should have to go through the same pain I went through, right? On the flip side, we've got Ducklake. And Ducklake's big difference is, in fact, you've got a TP database sitting as your catalog. Why not? That's what they're good at. They're good at tracking changes and tracking where things are. This is what they were designed for. And you have your choice. You can use DuckDB, you can use SQLite, you can use Postgres. How many Postgres people are there here? Not very many. Usually I get all the hands up and I'm like, yes, we didn't forget about you. We love you. You know, you're a great group of people. So you're included now too. So now when you go try to find a particular piece of data, you are not making 4 trips where you come over, you ask the metadata file, it sends that back to you, you send it back to the manifest list, you send that back. Here, it's 2 trips across the wire and you have your data. So obviously, latency for querying a Ducklake versus querying Iceberg files is substantially different. Ducklake is the low latency lakehouse. Again, you have, I mean, I'm just looking, it's basically 1 transaction per second on Iceberg. We're currently saying it's 100 plus transactions per second. We've actually pushed it to about 250 transactions per second. Big difference. And again, it's because we're using this wonderful catalog. And again, choose your own catalog. We're not locking you in. There's no, you know. So for data fusion people, right, you've got a storage system here. That's the one thing that you need to make data fusion completely meld. Here you go. And it's fast. So this is, I put this together because I sat down right after I joined Mother Duck and I decided to, somehow or other this got messed up, I decided to put these on my own little cluster. I have a 4-node, you know, Alma 9 cluster sitting in my house. And I went, okay, let's give it a whirl. So I got Ducklake up and running using DuckDB as the catalog. That was extremely fast, super fast. Then I said, well, what about Postgres? Because I know Postgres is super, super popular. Okay, so that took me maybe another 2 hours. So end to end, I had a completely functioning Ducklake in 3 hours. So I said, okay, let's do this with Iceberg. Yeah, 2 days later, and much aggravation, I just went, you gotta be kidding, guys. This is just really, really hard. Have any of you installed an Iceberg? Did you enjoy it? Yeah, okay, well, maybe I should talk to you about how to do it, because I sure didn't. So we have, and within Ducklake, you can do things like time travel. Every commit produces a new snapshot. There's a function in, I'm sure you can support it in your Data Fusion, of a simple select star from snapshot _ test. You get your snapshot number. You can restore back to that point in time, and you have your time travel. You can also do local development. If you are using DuckDB, you can put DuckDB on a laptop. You can use Data Fusion. You can use whatever you'd like to talk to the lake. It really, truly doesn't matter. And again, the installation. And if you choose to host your Ducklake in MotherDuck, we take care of things like security and provisioning for, instances, things like that. That's what MotherDuck does. It takes DuckDB, puts it up in the cloud, makes it multi-user, and handles all that pesky infrastructure that you really, truly don't want to deal with. So recently, the folks at DuckDB announced that they were going to be releasing DuckDB 1.5 and Ducklake 0.4. And the most important aspect to that is they are now going to be supporting variants. And their JSON data will be much, much faster. So when you tell the people at DuckDB that something is slow, they're all academics. They're not interested in fame and fortune. They are interested in pure theory and pure aesthetics, and therefore they're not bothered by some of the commercial aspects of, well, we have to get this out and that out. But I will say that if you say to them, your JSON nesting is kind of slow, they'll go, it is? And laser focus. If you've ever used DuckDB, if you ever used their parser, that parser was a PhD dissertation by one of the people on the DuckDB team, and it's the best one out there. So they turned an eye to this. And so now their JSON on nesting is supposed to be heaven. I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't gotten my hands on it yet. They will be supporting macros, and it will be supporting inlining. So inlining in Ducklake means that every time you do an update, an insert, or a delete, it goes into that transaction engine. It does not get written down as a single file like it does in Iceberg. They store the block size, which is about 112,800 rows in that block, and then it will flush that block down to storage. And that way you are not looking for this little file and that little file and that little file and that little file. It will all be compressed. The compaction is done automatically for you. You can ask for it to occur, or you can just let it do its thing and it will go off and compact for you as it goes along. And they are now adding inlining support for both Postgres and SQLite. And there will be deletion inlining. Yay! So one thing I've noticed in my pretty long career in technology is that every time you write an OLAP engine, everybody says, well, can I have transactions? And you're like, well, no, it's an OLAP engine. But my data changes. Have you ever met a static piece of data in your career? They just don't exist. So having this ability to make changes to your data and have it still work as a block and all these little files is what makes Ducklake so unique. Well, this is my push for MotherDuck. You have your storage, you have your metadata, you have your compute, and it can all be done in MotherDuck. I think I'm pretty much done. Yeah.